So wouldn't that be Al Gore's ticket then, to go with Obama, and then Obama's killed and it all belongs to Al Gore, you know? I wouldn't be surprised at that one at all. I just don't see Obama being around very long, even if he is elected president. Hillary Clinton will always be a politician, and so I don't know if she'll make it as the president or not, but I know she's in charge of martial law. She's going to have a lot to do with martial law here in America, and so she has her fingerprint on still being involved in politics, because she's got her fingerprints and paw prints all over martial law in 2009. And, you know, we've been wondering as well, is this actually the biblical year 2009 that we're looking at this year? And I still don't know, and I won't know that until August. Because July is another strong month of theirs. I've always said spring and summer months are the alien agenda months. Those are very strong months. And July is very strong. And so if the Capitol's still standing in July and this Maitreya, the third horseman, isn't here, then we've got till 2009. And I know a lot of you will be happy to hear that, but I'm just exasperated. I don't want to wait another year. I want to get this stuff on the road. Let's just get going with it. But that's all right. I mean, nothing I can do but wait anyway. Nobody cares whether I'm happy or sad about it. I mean, nobody can mess with time except the Lord Himself. And so, just things to watch for. Whether July comes and goes and July's peaceful, then yeah, we're all starting another school year next year. So, yeah, we'll just be around. That'll give you some time to wrap things up here on Earth. I'll tell you that. And people that aren't awake now, I doubt will be awake later. But that's what you need to be doing, is just pretty much wrapping up things on Earth, because the market's going to crash. There's going to be civil chaos here in the cities. It's going to be anarchy, especially if gas gets any higher. Truckers going on strike. Food and supplies not getting to stores. The prices of things, shipping on just buying things now is outrageous on the internet, just the shipping costs. And so we're going to see a lot of, the economy here in America just hit rock bottom. It's where it's headed now. And if we're here for till next year, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. Folks, it's never going to get better. It's never going to return. And that's what I was trying to warn for years, too, that once it starts, it never goes back. It never goes back to the way it was. And so people need to get conditioned themselves that, nothing's going to return. It's also an emotional thing. It's not such a physical thing of going through the last days. It's the whole emotional thing. Watching the world crumble. Watching the world in various parts start to go into unrest and starving, because that famine is just going to move everywhere. This famine it's not a result of God doing any kind of judging on the world. It's they're doing it. Satan's setting up the world for his arrival. They're going to control the world through water and food. And that's a big part of their depopulation program as well. And so these things are never going to fix themselves. They're never going to bounce back. We're never going to have an upper middle class here in America again. We're losing the middle class now. You talk about having the poor class, the middle class, and the upper class, and the middle class just being drowned out of America, disappearing. Seems like there's only really going to be two classes: the really rich, and then just the poor and in debt, which is the bulk of society. It's never going to return to what we grew up in, an area like what we grew up in, an era. And so you need to get ready. If we have till next year, then just start going where the Lord leads you to go. Get into the mountains, get to the Ozarks. Some of you like the Appalachians, stay on the western half of that. Wherever the Lord leads you. Wherever the Lord leads you. So that's all I can really say about that, because we just gotta watch as things happen. But like I said, it's a big, just getting ready emotionally to see things happen, because our world's never going to be the same again. And once you can grasp that, then you can grasp the truths of the things that are coming a lot more easier, when you're ready to just kiss this world goodbye. And that's where most of you should be anyway. Those of you who really love the Lord, has never made Earth your home. You've always felt as outsiders here on Earth. You're just glad you want to go home. you want this stuff to start. You want to go home because this earth's never been your home to begin with. You've never felt at home here. But a lot of people have sunk their roots into earth as their home. They've invested a lot of money in their homes and their cars and their possessions, and they're losing them all, and they're going to lose them all. And I think a lot of these people would be surprised why the Lord lets it happen to them, because they weren't doing with their wealth and their possessions what He had told them to do to begin with, and so His judgment's on them for that. So I'm going to answer questions from a few readers, listeners. What about Canada? Are there safe havens here? There are. We are in the province of Quebec. There are warriors in Canada who were led to Canada several years ago, and they just have farms. They have simple farms with supplies to plant gardens and things like that, and they've been stocking up on food. They basically just doing what the Lord leads them to do, and then He'll lead people to them. And so, yeah, you're not alone in Canada. There are a lot of warriors. And Canada is the third or fourth top listening country to my show. And so I know that there are a lot of Faction 4 warriors in Canada. That'll make sense to anybody else. The people that listen to my show are the people that the Lord leads. He's trying to wake up. And so Canada and Australia. And I know people personally in Canada that have been quietly preparing for what's coming. And so when the time comes, the Lord will put people where they need to be in Canada. You're going to be a spectator for a while, like Australia. When Maitreya arrives and his forces get destroyed, he starts coming after the Oregon warriors and all that. You're just going to kind of sit and be watching that. You know, you're going to have breathing room right there, and that should be a big flag to get moving, to get prepared to hide in the mountains and the caves and things like that, because from that point on, the weather is just going to become outrageous. And not to mention the famine that's coming and other things that are coming and the persecution that's coming. And so you just do what the Lord leads you. But the Lord has not left anybody around the world unprotected. He's been working with people, with missionaries, with warriors around the world. And like I said, the Faction 4 won't be here too long. We could be gone real soon, or we could be here for a while after Rachel arrives and then hunted down and persecuted. Like I've said, it's all up to the Lord. But there's going to be a huge war on the saints all around the world. It's going to be Islam, the beast against Christianity, and so that's still coming. Question from a listener, comment: Hi Sherry, great show as always. My question tonight is this: I see on TV ads telling us that has February 2009 your television will only work via digital cable box. Do you know what the story is here? Something's not right here. Why should the government care if you have TV or not, unless they're going to profit from this? What do you think or know about this? I think, this whole digital thing, they want the analog, supposedly they want the airwaves back, so that they can use them for the military. Because analog waves take up more space than digital, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I think the digital has something more to do with an alien agenda. The plasma TVs have always grossed me out. I wouldn't touch one with the 100-foot pole, simply because they have those plasma clouds or whatever in space. And so when they came up with plasma TVs, it was just too much alien agenda for me. Also with the digital controls, they can use these TVs for mind control purposes, for ELF technology. Because if you have a computer monitor, an LCD monitor, they can use their ELF technology through that monitor to affect you. And I've told you guys that when Maitreya comes and has this huge day of declaration to turn your TVs off, don't even watch him, because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. When he's on TV, there's going to be a lot of elfing going on, a lot of tech attacks with people going on. People are going to be hypnotized and affected by this ELF technology. And so I can't get into specifics. I can't, tell you exactly everything that's going to happen, but I can give you the gist of it. And so that's what the whole thing is. The greater the technology, the closer to the alien agenda that they can use, because it's what their weapons work with, what their weapons work through. Question from a listener: if you get the chip